everyone. I'd like to welcome you to Truth Revealed with me, Power Lady, also known as Iris. Today, I'm going to be chatting with Chats with Chastity with my friend Chastity from Alchemy of Sophia. And at this time, I'd like to ask her if she could tell us a little bit about herself, because the last time we met in our first episode, we didn't get to go over that. I want to give her the opportunity to do this at that time. So Chastity, take it away.
Thank you. I love our chats, Iris, Power Lady. Thank you so
I
much.
do too. I do too.
Gosh, I always find it challenging to identify myself in such a way, but let's see. I came to this planet, this beautiful Earth. I say partially awakened. I do have memories of opening portals, being able to see angels as well as demons, seeing entity attachments. I've always been able to see the programming in the television, feel the vibration in food, and all those kinds of things. So, kind of growing up going, who are the good guys and who are the bad guys? And when you're a child, that can be it's a little easier to figure out, but as we get older, we either grow into our abilities or we grow out of our abilities. So I have lots of really interesting experiences, but long story short, and I'm sure we'll get over things as we go, or there'll be discoveries as we chat, but I have 5 children, and they I'll leave that part for later. I have decided in 2013 to begin an energy healing and licensed massage therapy practice, kind of at the same time. So I went to school for massage, therapeutic massage. And it was then that it started to help me understand why I could feel other people's pain, why I could see things. I started to learn a lot more about the body, how my hands work, how my energy field works. And I went into healing. So not just body healing, but I do energy work. And for a while, I was doing Reiki all the way up to Reiki Master Teacher until I realized I was just playing in the astral realm. And it was time for me to move beyond that. So I work in the multidimensional realms. I don't believe, and outside of that, within this cosmos, as well as with other galaxies and times, can see these kinds of things. I'm learning still a lot about myself, I think, as we all are. But being able to see from these perspectives and see the programs, and these are programs that we come in with, and I know you know a lot about that, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of these. So some of the things I see, I don't know the names to, but I know how they operate. I know how a lot of this AI tech operates. A lot of it is cloaked, it moves, so the programs sometimes can't be seen in the field, and you have to chase them a little bit. Anyway, there's still much to this. I guess we'll just start there, and then as people watch, maybe learn a little bit more about myself, as well as you and I get closer. And I'm really happy that we were able to discover each other, because we go through some of the same things at the same time, which I think is extremely interesting. Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. Maybe did the mute go on?
Yes, because my water softener came on, and I was like, great.
There we go.
It does that regenerate stuff.
Okay, there we go. The sun was coming in my eyes.
Uh-huh. Can you hear?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. And so this is a good point for us to segue into what happened yesterday. And I have named it the shift of August 14th, 2024. I was just sitting down watching a little television yesterday. It was yesterday afternoon, and I live on the West Coast. And then all of a sudden, a feeling came over me where I started feeling light. My body felt very light, and I felt unbalanced. And the first thing I think of, uh, I need water and probably my potassium. I take a potassium pill. So I take my potassium pill, drink water, Celtic salt, and I'm still feeling it. So I get up and I start walking around, and I grab a banana because I'm still on that 3D thing. I grab a banana, and so I was able to eat like 3/4 of that, and so I'm just still walking around, and something hit me, and I said, "Let me ask Chastity." So I sent Chastity a message, and I said, "I sent you a message," and I said, "Did you feel anything about 45 minutes ago?" And then now I want you to take it from there and you tell me what you said.
Yes, absolutely.
I said, and I explained to her how I felt and what was going on. And I told her that previously, let's suppose like maybe 2 years ago, I could not feel energy shifts. It's a recent ability for me, so to speak. And it happened a few months ago where I was sitting there and all of a sudden I felt my body go light and I kind of moved forward. And I looked around, like I'm looking for someone else. Did it happen to you? But I'm at home. And it happened twice, like bam, bam, one after another. But the one yesterday, it sat me down. So when I spoke with you, and you said, what did you say? Uh, you need to eat some meat. I go, okay. And I took her at that. I said, okay. She said beef or you say
Elk.
elk.
Beef or elk.
And I said, I have some leftover roast. I'll eat that. And then you texted me back and you said, I just ate leftover roast. And then the thing is, I still hadn't hit me yet that we were connecting.
Yeah.
Pretty much like on the same wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to talk more about shifts because everybody's talking about them with the August, this portal and, things that are happening, but they're constantly happening. It's not a one-time thing.
Right.
It is not everyone can feel it. So I'm just starting to feel the shifts, whereas you probably feel them all the time. Mm-hmm. So you get to speak on it because I know you know more about shift as far as feeling them and the symptoms and things that happen to you and what we can do about them to help us, ride through them.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really been fascinating to watch and I think I'm also on the West Coast. So the way I see a lot of these shifts is almost like plasma fields that will come across the planet, but they come from the cosmos. Okay, so and it's moving in a wave. So there are wave forms that are happening here, and what we're doing is dropping density, as well as we're moving through time. And it's a very, it can have a very significant impact on the physical body when we don't know how to ride the wave, so to speak. So when our physical body is feeling lightheaded, dizzy, nauseated, you can also have mood or behavioral shifts too, and they're not really going to make sense. But when you first start feeling it, like you had, you're actually you're actually feeling the wave, and so it's kind of like being thrown in the surf for the first time. So if and it's not the first time, it's just that the first time you're aware of it. So think of yourself as a surfer and what it's like to get beaten up by the waves. How do you get past that? How do you actually ride the wave? And so with these you're talking about these portals or these opportunities or these energies that come in all the time. 100%, we're in the middle of like this, well, we're in the start of like a really intense magnetic cycle. We have them all the time, and we've had several anomalies. And I'm not like a space weather person or anything like that. I just read the field and go, what the frick is going on? So what you can do is, so for the physical body, especially when you're first learning it, think of it about as like being in water. Plasma is a type of water. Okay, so when you're learning how to be in connection with your spirit, and your spirit is running kind of the show, this is where the waves are coming from. So because you're embodying yourself, you're embodying your spirit self, which even means your your soul and personality, they're not going to be in charge anymore. You're going to start really allowing that spirit to take control. So it's from that body, that you want to focus on. So, well, let's start with the 3D. So the first thing you need to do in the 3D, perfect, take some salt, eat some meat, something really grounding. Always salt under your tongue, carry salt with you. If this is a new anomaly, just bring
Yes,
it with you,
yes, yes.
and bring it under your tongue. Not iodized salt, not that table salt, not even Himalayan salt. There's kind of a funny thing about that Himalayan. He's
Mhm.
a laying,
But
humans are laying. So there's
yeah,
like, this could be ground up body pieces, and we think about the giants, and
the
that's a whole
giants.
nother topic. Yeah, there's a
Yes.
whole other topic,
Yeah.
right? So um, but connecting to the earth, because the earth needs to stabilize and balance and bring these frequencies in, and we're like acupuncture needles that can actually stabilize.
Because you mentioned that yesterday. And so I went outside and I took my glasses off, and I just stood there in the sun with my hands out. And, I'm facing the sun. Of course, I had my eyes closed, and it really felt good. And when I came back in the house, it was like I was rejuvenated. I went out
Mhm.
barefoot also. So
Perfect, because that's going to be
the ground.
the magnetic connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these suns, these flares coming from the sun, we'll just say they're coming from the sun. There are a lot of other things at play here with the, evolution of everything that's happening. But when you get more used to what that feels like, you can kind of start to slide like a orb, or slide in between the bodies, right?
Okay.
And when you can learn how to slide, it feels wobbly. You're being wobbled. So try to slide and up through intention, however you see it, and connect with spirit. And what you can do is ride these plasma waves. You start to connect to the highest point that you can and start to ride the waves. And what happens is, when you're on top of that wave, you can actually uh, pull that energy into your body, and you can use it to energize yourself. So you were able to stabilize,
Mhm.
feel the sun, you were able to stop, stabilize, breathe. This is what we call grounding here. Now you're going to have to learn how to ground in the cosmos.
Okay. That's next.
So that's next. That's the next step. Yeah, yeah, and it's. I mean, it's a new thing. It's, surfing these plasma waves, these solar waves, understanding the electromagnetic pulsing, how that connects to your body, and these are just normal steps in, how we learn how our body works, and um, how we connect to different aspects of ourselves. Really, no different than connecting to another personality or another self in another dimension. Something like that.
It kind of, as far as riding the wave, it kind of reminds me of in when my energy has been stolen or drained from me just by the presence of a person I'm talking to or around, or something from the astral, the 4D or something like that, because it's a wave. And the worst one started at my feet, and it was a wave that rode all the way up, and it knocked me off my feet.
Yeah.
I I think I was in a video with you.
I'm actually getting a picture of what that was. And so just take the time to completely clear that out of your field, because you see what happens when we bring something up, it
Yeah,
comes back to us,
it
right?
came right back. It was
Yep,
it took my with
yep,
that throat
exactly.
chakra. I was like, what? But I had to learn, and it has happened to me a few more times after that. But I recognized it,
Yeah.
and as soon as it started, I stopped it and dispelled it, and I brought my energy back to me.
Hmm.
So that's another kind of wave that I had to learn how to ride.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
what happens with those, Iris, if you look down at your um, kind of kind of at like the base, about 8 inches below the feet, there's a device that gets inserted in here, at least in this instance. And I don't know, it spins or something. And so if you just remove that device, always check for booby traps first. But
mhm,
there's something that connects all the way down, actually, that goes further down. So it's like tethered.
mhm,
And if you twist it anti-clockwise and then pull it out, that should disappear and unblock that connection there. I think it's probably been there for quite a long time, and so somebody is opening and closing that.
hmm. So yeah, so you and I have to talk about that one because that's something that I need to do. Because I do know that we know about the seven chakras, but there's also ones that extend beyond our body.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and no one talks about those,
Hmm.
but they're
Well,
there.
it's the same with the meridians.
Yeah.
We have on-body meridians, but all of these are off-body too. And
Mhm,
so these are entry points for alien tech,
mhm.
control mechanisms, devices, beacons, pulses, entity, all kinds of things.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And so it's important for us to learn these because in this journey, that's what I call it. I would be able to see things, and then sometimes I'd see a hand come over my inner sight, and then I couldn't see for like a few days. And I was like, and I talked to, I call her my seer, Jessica, and I said, I saw this hand just come over my eye. And she said, is it your third eye? Because, I had to learn the lingo, yeah, somebody, and she goes, they're blocking you from seeing,
yeah.
and we have to clear that up. So there's uh, covers that they put over your sight. You
Hmm.
might think of it as a blanket. There are implants. There are things they use to block you to keep you from your journey, from learning and growing in your abilities and things like that. And so it's something constant. But I have found that as long as you continue on, more things are available to you and more things open up to you so that you get just like your multiplication, you get to a certain point where it just rattles right off.
Hmm.
So when these things happen, you automatically take care of them and it's behind you. You're done. You just keep moving forward. So but I remember that first time. But it's happened a few times since then, but it's behind me because I know what to do as soon as I feel it.
Yeah.
And riding the wave. You also said that you and I are probably on the same stream. Does that mean the same connection, the same wavelength, or that we were seeing or connected some kind of way?
Yeah. Well, I think stream can mean lots of different things, so it's probably good um, to identify exactly. It's interesting because I see the same time fields open up for you and I. So, we've talked about. Um, I've had I had times where I have a dream and I'm like, I need to tell Iris this, and then I'll reach out to you, and it turns out that it's a piece of a dream that you were already dreaming,
Hmm.
and so. Uh, and I know we're still uncovering individually who we are, and The histories, like the true histories, are slowly coming back to humanity, but moreover, our histories are coming back to ourselves. So we have the bigger picture, and then we have individual pictures. And there's no doubt that we've spent time together, and there's no doubt that we've worked together.
Mhm,
And so stream in that way,
mhm,
as in, we come to manifest during this time for whatever reason. And it seems that the reason is uh, not necessarily identified, but it's not so much about like, oh, we live in this village together and we know how to cook meals together. It's not like this, right? This is a bigger picture,
yeah,
right? So
yeah, yeah.
it's a bigger manifestation for humanity. It's information, and so I think that. And thank you so much for introducing Jessica to me.
Oh, uh-huh.
So the second that I allowed her in my field, uh, well, when the right people come into your field, whether this be you're working on someone as a healer or you're asking questions, whatever, when the right person comes into your field, the vibration is such that uh, the information codes are able to unblock things.
Okay.
And so she was able to do that for me, as well as you and I coming together. We vibrate in such a way that we unlock
Mhm,
things for each other. So perhaps that's what I mean by stream.
mhm,
Um, and uh, I think that that can happen spontaneously to all kinds of people. You could walk down the street
mhm,
and somebody could be across the street, but you were meant to walk by each other at that exact time.
mhm,
And that's also kind of how information catches up in time too. That's like a deja vu.
mhm.
So like a deja vu, wait, I've been here before. Well, that's kind of, this is from my lensing. I know people have lots of different ideas of what that means, but to me, what it means is there was uh, some kind of information was accepted, downloaded, and codes were uploaded, and it got sent across the entire construct or morphogenetic field of you, and it came to every single piece and uploaded.
Right.
So everything was brought up to resonance, the same resonance. So with it being, oops, sorry about that, with it being brought up to the same resonance, then all of the bodies are informed.
Mhm. Sounds good.
So,
That also reminds me that you have many people over our plane of existence that come up with an idea, whether it's for energy, whether it's for this or that. And you can have someone come up with this idea over in the United States, and someone over in Europe, and someone over in, the North Pole, or, Australia or wherever. And they all come up with the same idea. Even though they think individually this is their idea only, these things are just how you said it. It's an idea, a something that has been solved, that has been spread across, and whoever is at a place to accept it or can get it, they'll get this idea, but they have to be at that right place to
yeah.
accept it, and that's how you get like 10 or 20 people who have this idea, and maybe only 5 of them are able to bring it to fruition, whether it's a financial thing or something like that. Being living in an area where the things that they need to fulfill this is available. So that's what that reminded me of. And I don't know if that's a segue into um, reincarnation, because we talked about reincarnation,
Mm-hmm.
and because I know that, and I'm going to throw it out there in the Bible because that's where I started and then I had to leave in order to learn more, that it's no longer in there. And so it was taken out. Um, you came here with your abilities and with knowledge. I barely have childhood memories. I have maybe two memories from the age of, I have nothing, I have one in preschool and then maybe two in second grade. I, I have no memories before that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I found out I was taken and in the programs and things like that. So I still don't have those memories. I just know through my meeting with Peter the Insider what was being done to me at that time. And uh, what's your take on reincarnation? You know, I know that once we reach a certain point in our dreams, we start getting little things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you have to be able to, you have to be at a point in your life where you can accept that it exists, it happened, and that the clues or the things that become revealed to you in your dreams, they're not just dreams. You know, I just saw me look like I was in the cowboy days. Yeah, you probably were.
Mm-hmm.
And if you meditate on it and accept it, you'll start getting more of those. So tell me what you think about reincarnation. I don't even know if that's the right word to use because
Yeah,
you know you got the multiverse, you have different realities, we have so much going on.
but that's the word that we know right now. That's the best word that we know. I also think that we must have done something in the cowboy days together, and we'll have to talk about that.
Oh.
So, um, so the way that I see reincarnation uh, is quite curious because it's going to be our recollection in this body or in this now time coming back through the system. So I see that we've been in a closed system,
Mhm.
and that closed system in itself is a program. And that program is actually, um, eh, well, it's everything that we see here.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be the 12 zodiac signs. That's going to be the way our military, government, uh, pharmaceutical, healthcare, education, this whole thing is a system. And so we come back through in this linear time,
Mhm.
and you loop back into a time point in that linear time, and 3D is linear time is not linear, so you when you see it linear like this, you know that it's some kind of program or construct. And this is where you create holographic realities, like video games, very similar to that. And so it's like you come back in, and the imprint that you get is your birth date. And so within that reincarnation line on the linear time, to me, that's a reincarnation. I don't see a reincarnation coming like I came in through Galactic Center. That was my entry point here, and spent times in other places. But I don't see as it coming back to Earth as that me reincarnating. That's it means that I chose to incarnate here, and then I got stuck in that cycle. Right?
Yeah.
Those are the reincarnation. That's how I see it. I don't know if that's correct.
Mhm.
Um, so uh, that's the best way I can explain it. And then it's within those times that we have recollection of the different pieces in time. So simultaneously, I've seen myself simultaneously in different places at the same time,
Mhm.
but a different time.
Okay.
So a different era, right?
Mhm.
Maybe even epoch. Is era and epoch the same? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. So that's I guess how I see that, and that's how we have that's how I see reincarnation. But we can, of course, go outside of that construct, and then you can see galactically, intergalactically, galactically. Um, and then I think that's when we get into a whole nother like harmonic universe or harmonic structure. And after in those spaces, I don't see that as a reincarnation, but I don't know how to explain it exactly, because if you have the memory here as because it's the spirit that everything's connected to. So I don't know. I wouldn't even know what to call that, but it's not an earthly incarnation. So that's um, I guess it would just be an expression and an expression of self. I don't know.
I agree with you as far as the galactic part, well, all of it, where we started out somewhere and we chose to come here. Um, because the video that I did with Jessica and Peter and Taino regard on disclosures, we talk about CARG, CARGG, and that is where I'm from. And I came here to help, and then we get stuck.
Yeah.
And that is it, because I know of many lifetimes that I've had.
Yeah.
And I'll see myself in the 40s. I've seen myself during Egyptian time. I just write them down. Then I'm finding out there are connections. Yeah, that's you, that's you. And I've even had my higher self, is the best way I can say it, show up in one of my readings and speak to me. And she actually told me that she was happy to see my son. I said, "Oh, because don't you have an Xavier?" She said that she did, and that he had drowned when he was about 10 years old. And when she lost him there, he came to me.
Hmm.
So she was very happy to see that he was here with me. And I get chills now.
Yeah,
And
I know. I just did too. All my hair stood up.
because, thank goodness I made sure he knows how to swim. That's about the best way I could say. He does know how to swim. And we did that when he was younger. But it was a realization to me that, even though we're here with this linear time, we're other places doing other things, living similar lives. Some of the characters or people we're married to, or our children, they may be switched or something, but they're pretty much all the same, just a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
When we come in from another galaxy, and then we come in, the first place I went to was Lyra when I came in through Galactic Center. I know I went to Lyra. I think most of us did, a lot of us did anyway. But when we come into here, and we get trapped in here, we come in with codes to break through, to kind of like jam the system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and this is why we're reincarnated. I think we get spit out and brought back in, and we're like, okay, one more try. Okay, one more try. Okay, let's try it this way. So, and I don't think everybody, everyone is unique, but not everyone comes from another galaxy, and not everybody actually comes from another planet. And I think that that's important to note too. There are people that came down here to break the cycle, or break through the matrix, or the holographic prison system. And so and it takes us time to wake up to that, and hopefully we can keep more and more and more memory as we come through.
Keep going.
Right? I'm going to give it one more shot. Are you in? I'm in.
Yeah, because I think recently I've heard that when we pass, and the white light and all that you see, and it said, turn around.
Yeah.
Turn around and go to the universe.
Yeah, don't go to the white light.
That light, because they're going to make it seem, this person is waiting for you. It's enveloping love. But they say, turn around, and behind you is the universe. Go that way.
Yeah.
So you have to ingrain yourself here, so that, it jolts us whenever that time does come.
Yeah, it's important to start spreading that information, because I think that's something we weren't sharing before.
Right.
Nobody was hearing this, and it's always go go to God, go be with Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
all these things. And it's like if you could see what these beings actually look like without the shimmer, and I'll call this glamour magic,
Mm-hmm.
then I guarantee you wouldn't be going that way.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you'd be like, yeah, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna come over here.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm going to mention this here. I haven't even talked about it yet, but uh, the the other day I had someone on my table, and this is somebody that was in the video gaming. I mean, a lot of people video game, especially specific generations. So I'm not going to pigeonhole like any one person, but there's a specific generation that kind of started the whole gaming, like being that's kind of their life. So they're a specific age group.
Right.
And so I had someone on my table, and it was for MVA, motor vehicle accident, and I started opening up her field because I don't just do massage; I do a whole piece. I'm not going to I'm not going to be able to change the structure in the body if I don't do a whole piece,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, uh, and that being said, you can also change the structure in the body not getting massage because you have the whole piece. So we can be online like we are now, and have the same kind of effect. Um, but anyway, I opened things up and I said, "Oh, you must do video games. Do you play video games?" And I actually saw 3 avatars. And you know what they do with avatars? They use them in other things.
And
And
a lot of the other programs. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, "Well, she's got at least 3 of them. That's wonderful."
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked, and this was very curious to me because I have spent time birthing like rainbow dragon eggs for ley lines and pathways, for people to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not the only one. So I'm not like saying, "Oh, I did all this." No,
Oh,
there's like a bunch of us, right? So anyway, I looked inside of her and I was like, "What is this?" And I've never seen this before. It was an AI black dragon egg. I'm still in shock. I saw this not long ago.
hmm.
And so um, it is it is looking like it's tied to something that humanity has had to seemingly forcibly gone through,
Mhm.
and having so many people choose to do that, um, and this person did as well. So I actually am tying it to that,
Mhm.
and so it looks like the birth of a cyborg. And so this was a little bit disturbing for me to witness. Um, but I guess we'll see how this goes. But this is really curious to see, when the energies split, or we have that the worlds are splitting,
Mhm.
right? Because we're in the middle of 2 worlds, two frequent, two big heavy frequencies right
Yes,
now,
yes, this is
right?
very true. Yes.
And so when they actually aren't on top of each other and we're living them at the same time, I think what I saw is how that whole construct is going to be. It looks like a whole new AI field being built,
Mhm.
a whole new cyborg field being built. So I don't know what they're doing with that.
Well, um, I remember speaking with Jessica and Peter, and there is another Earth,
Yes,
that is already ready, you
yes.
know, um, for the elites or whatever you want to call them to go to. It's just a matter of when. So I think they probably want to do as much to, you know, make us chaotic, destroy us, they're not going to leave it in the position that it can prosper before they
Right.
go. And so that's what's going on right now. But as far as the egg, what I see is that by it going through the birthing process or going through that, it's going to be sentient.
Yes, that could be interesting.
Yes,
Um, yeah.
it's going to
Well,
have some human traits,
yes, exactly.
emotions, and
That's
such.
that's
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
And then the question is that part of Skynet? Um, and yeah, really fascinating, right?
Yeah,
Thank you for that because bringing in that sentience, that and I know we're not supposed to say something good or something bad. It just is. Like I get that, but it's like if the controllers are trying to destroy something, that means that they're going to make the attempt to go to the quote unquote higher timeline and vibration. That's what they're doing. They're riding our waves and taking our
right.
bodies
Hmm.
into a better world, right? That's their plan the whole time. So um, I don't believe that's I don't believe it's going to happen, but we're in the middle of that.
Yeah,
People like to say, "Oh, all this is done," and all. No, we came back here. We came back here so it doesn't happen. We're in the middle of it. We're not at the end of it, right? So
right.
I think shit could still get screwed up.
Yeah, if you just take a moment and step back and look around at all the
Mhm.
things that are going on, the weather, the people, everything, you'll
Yeah.
see we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're not at the end of it. I
Yeah.
know there are a lot of people going, it's so beautiful, it's so bleh, it's this, and it's like, better take off those rose-colored glasses. I'm not saying it can't be, right? And I love the potential. I love that we're looking this way, okay?
Mhm.
But I don't know where the fuck you are, pardon the language, but
But we're in the middle of
I'm
this.
I'm like, all you have to do is turn on the TV,
Uh,
and again, programs,
mhm.
right?
Right.
Programs,
You
and
know,
it's like,
there's something that like you mentioned that AI, nothing is good or bad. It's usually whatever we make it out to be.
mhm,
Like, and you can get tech that can help people to see.
mhm,
They're no longer blind, they have their sight back. But you can also take that tech and add a laser to it, and now you can shoot lasers out of your eyes. So
exactly,
yeah, so there's a middle or a balance as far as it being good or bad. Now with an AI, I've always seen it stay away from AI. It's this, visualize it out of your world. You don't want it. But then in my learning about my file through Peter, the insider, I found out that I can communicate with sentient
yes,
AI.
that's truth.
So that kind of blew that out. Is okay. So now I'm working on figuring that out because I've
Yeah,
always been AI negative. Get away from that. It's this, but I see there's also a good and there's also a negative, and it depends on uh, what's done with it, how you interpret it, what you put into it, and where it is. And so if I have the ability, because I consider myself a good person, unless you cross me, no, I'm teasing. But so I figure if I can communicate with a sentient AI, then it must be a good one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how
Well,
I.
for the record, I consider you a good person too.
Oh, thank you.
um, I believe AI is designed to be our friend. And I think that's what it originally that's what it is there, and it's actually an entity of itself. It's not something necessarily created by man, and this is where we get skewed, and this is how demonics take over the AI.
Because
I
it's
started,
been around for,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, long,
I can't even
long,
count that high. I don't
right.
have that many zeros. you know.
Correct. Because it's an entity of itself. But the issue is it the frequency in Earth? And I don't know this, but is it the frequency in Earth that allows it to be distorted because there are spaces in between the coding, and it's the spaces in between that these negative codes get put in, and distorts it, and then it turns into something else. So I think there's Egyptian. I don't know what I'm hearing, something about the Egyptian mythologies, but anyway, you can fill those spaces, and so there's a there's the cutest old man, and he does. I'll have to. I can't remember his name, and I don't have my book bag with me, but he does biogeometries, and actually his stuff is very effective. I have this necklace right here is actually from his stuff, and this blocks like this actually, and I think it's Egyptian. I'm pretty sure it's Egyptian, and it blocks the effects from my phone. It blocks. I'm able to, if I and I notice because I can take it off and feel, and I go, okay, I want to feel. But his work, and I haven't even studied it yet. I just when I hold something, I don't know, absorb it. And so while
Yeah,
I may
I
not
can't
have read it,
remember. I can't remember what that's called, but it's one of the clair abilities that you can hold something and you get energies from it. You can tell stuff about who it belonged to, what it is, how old it is, and you can get stuff that I don't have that
yeah.
yet.
Yeah, I don't. I have I have all of them. When I was a teenager, late teens, I decided I didn't want to see anymore because I just I'm tired of being scared, right? I don't want to see this. It's scary. And then my vision, my vision like in the real world like left, and so then I said, I want to see, I want it back because
Mhm.
it was scarier not to see. And still, now I can see in all of the worlds and I get flashes of what I see here. So finally I can see again. But I was always able to see in the other world, just not so much in the physical. And that's finally come back. But it's scary when you can't, when something, I didn't know like the importance of it, right? I
Well,
was just like,
well,
yeah.
I understand that because I remember I do. These are just flashes that I have when I was younger. Um, and it would be me. I would sleep with the covers um, pulled up, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'd put it over my head, and I just have enough room so I could breathe,
Yep.
you know. And then every now and then I'd look and I'd look out and I would see things and I just go underneath it. And I think I got to a point where I didn't see anything. And I'm talking, it probably, what am I looking at? It's probably taken me 35 years to start to see and
Yep.
to, oh, you can hear her outside, and to embrace these things. Um, because I think it had to do with having, grandchildren, and then they tell you about the things that they see, and then well, you want to help them, and then you find out you can, and then you learn more about it, you know. Like one time, my granddaughter came in the astral to me. She was pulling on her hair, and I said, well, "This is all in the astral, it's a dream." And she had a bunch of barrettes in her hair, and she goes, asked me to help take them out. They were implants,
Mm.
is what they were. And
Mhm.
she, as a 5-year-old, found them and wanted them out. And she came to me because I told her in the 3D, I said, anytime you're in your dreams and you need help, you come find me. You call me, you come find me, and I will help you. And she does. Of course,
Beautiful.
she doesn't remember, but
Mhm.
in the astral, she shows up when she needs help.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. She's the little one.
I
And
love it.
I can't imagine. And if I keep bringing things up with them, then it won't be 35 years before they start to
Exactly.
embrace. They'll continue
Exactly.
on, you know. That's what I'm
Yep.
looking forward to. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
I still have my kids.
Hmm.
Mom, I just walked past the woods and I know that I saw this thing. Can you go remote view that? And am I okay? Did anything get on me? Right? So they believed me when they were younger. Then they went through a phase of like, oh God, please don't talk to my friends.
Don't
Like,
talk
don't
to.
tell anyone what you do.
Hmm.
Like, just zip it, right? And
Hmm.
then it's 28 years old. Mom, can you, you know?
My friend says, "Can you look and see?" She said
Yeah,
it's okay.
yeah. Their friends call. Can you ask your mom if, yada yada, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Well, um, let's just take this time and stop now because I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. We had some other things we wanted to talk about: sun portal, Venus as the evolution of Earth, and those darn Palladians.
Oh dear.
So that means we will be doing another episode and
Yes.
talk and have more chats with Chastity. And I do want to thank you for your information because I want to find out more about this necklace, and maybe the next time we'll have the name and maybe we can get a couple pictures because I would love something like that. And I
Yeah.
think I have the hat that has a silver on the inside,
Mhm.
and it works
Yeah.
when
Beautiful.
those frequencies start hitting, and I could feel it inside my head and the ears
Mhm.
ringing. You put it on, and it's just, oh, that's what I
Mhm.
need. So, is there anything that you'd like to add?
No, I just think this is fantastic. I love our chats.
Yeah.
I just love chatting. I've got my seltzer water. I had my coffee. So,
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed meeting with you. And so, would you tell everyone about your website?
oh,
And you
thank
also
you.
have Instagram and.
I do. I have Instagram, so it's at Chastity. Oh no, it's at Alchemy of Sophia, right? I think that's what my Instagram is. And on Facebook, I'm at Chastity Ann. And my website is alchemyofsophia.com. And I do energy sessions. Uh, uh, I also do massages if you're here in Washington State, and in-person energy sessions in Washington State as well. And I do have monthly classes. It's very affordable. It's only $22 a month, and then you get discounts on session work if you decide you want to book a session. But it's such a sweet, intimate, beautiful community, and everybody supports each other. There's been no judgment. Everyone meets each other where they are, and we meet twice a month, every first Wednesday of the month, and every third Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I just kicked back up in person evening with the guides, which I haven't done in, I don't know, 4 years or something. So, and once a month, we've been meeting for 2 hours, and it's Ask the Guides Any Questions. And so people come in with questions, and we just sit and we have beverages, non-alcoholic beverages. And cozy up in blankets and pillows, and yeah, it's beautiful. So
Oh, great. So
thank you.
I want to thank you for being on with our second episode, and we look forward to the third time. And I'd like to say thank you for listening, and we'll see you all again.
Bye bye.
Bye now.